Alright guys, so today we're going to continue talking about lesson 25. I can divide a whole number by a unit fraction. So please take out your notebook and copy this down. Pause the video if you need a second to do that. So we're dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. We know that a unit fraction is any fraction that has a numerator of 1. 1/2, 1/3, 1/5, 1/10, 1/millionth. Those are all unit fractions. So if we were in school, I would have put this problem up on the board. And asked you to think about what the answer might be. And I guarantee some of you would have come up with the answer of 3. This is not correct. The reason that so many 5th graders see 6 divided by a half and say that the answer is 3 is because what they're thinking is 6 divided in half. 6 divided in half. But that's not what this expression actually is saying. I then would put this up and tell you. What is 6 times 1/2? Remember that the multiplication sign stands for groups of. So 6 groups of a half. 6 groups of a half. Each one of those are a half. How much is 6 groups of a half? A half, a half, a half, a half, a half. These two would make 1 whole. Those 2 would make 2 wholes. Those 2 would make 3 wholes. 6 times a half is 3. If 6 times a half is 3, 6 divided by a half can also be 3. And the reason it's not is because what this is saying, I'm going to rewrite it down here, is not 6 divided in half, but 6 divided into groups of 1/2. 6 divided into groups of 1/2. And the question is, how many groups would you get? So when you see 6 divided by a half or a whole number divided by a fraction, it's not this divided into a half, it's divided into halves. 6 divided into halves, into groups of a half. And how many groups would you get? So you're basically saying, I have 6 wholes. How many halves can I get out of 6 wholes? Alright, so let's draw our 6. Here's our 6 wholes. How many halves can I get? So I'm going to make halves, and I would count them all up. And the answer is 12. Right? We could get 12 halves out of 6 wholes. So another way to think of this. How many halves can you make from 6? That is the question, not 6 divided into half, 6 divided in half. That's this. Taking half of 6, that's multiplication. Division is dividing it into groups that are that size. Please make sure you've copied this entire page down into your into your remote learning journal or notebook. Okay. Some people are noticing that, well, that's if you multiply your whole number times your denominator, that's how you would get 12, right? So keep an eye on that strategy to see if that's something that will always work. Okay. So again, when you're talking about, let's just do something like it's 5 divided into 1/8. How many 1/8 can you get out of 5? Well, how many 1/8 can you get out of 1? You can get 8. It takes 8/8 to make a whole, right? So you can get 8/8 from 1 whole, 16 from 2, 24 from 3, and so on. You would get 40/8 out of 5. Because every whole, let's pretend those are our 5 wholes, every whole would get you 8. So altogether you've got 40. This is like saying I've got 5 pizzas divided into eighths, right? My slices, when you make divided into eighths, how many eighths, how many slices can I get out of 5 pizzas? And the answer is 40. It feels wrong, it feels a little strange to be dividing and getting a bigger answer. Right, you're ending up with something bigger. Just like we talked about here, when you multiply by a fraction, you're getting an answer that's smaller. So now when you divide, this is the actual correct answer. When you divide by a fraction, you're getting an answer that's bigger. Everything feels all backwards. But it's because you're excuse me. You're multiplying by partial groups. You only have a part of a whole in every group. And here, if I was doing 6 divided by 3, it would be 2. You're putting 3, you have 6 some brownies, and you're putting 3 in every bag. How many are going to go in every bag? 2. Or I've got 6 brownies, and I'm going to, yes, I have 6 brownies, I'm going to put 3 in every bag. How many bags will I need? 2. Sorry, I meant to move over here. Or if I have 6 brownies and I'm putting half in every bag, how many bags can I fill? Now it's 12. You can fill more, or you'll get more groups. You can fill more bags if it's a fraction, because you're only putting pieces in the bag. So obviously you'll be able to fill more if you're only giving away halves at a time. If you have 6 brownies, you're giving away 3 at a time, yeah, you're going to get a smaller answer. Okay, so that's why when you have a fraction, you're going to get more. Alright, so please, I hope this video helped clarify the difference between dividing by a fraction and multiplying by a fraction. You're going to practice more just like you did yesterday. I still have a few people who did not do their Khan Academy questions from yesterday. If you are one of those people, please make sure you do them today. Okay, I will be emailing you shortly. Alright, get to work.